Joel Embiid is the clear MVP favorite at the halfway point in the NBA season, and in this video, I'm going to be explaining why.
Pull-up jumper, it's good! Tobias Harris sinks it! Here's Embiid, there it is! Yes! Van Boom, off the break, take that on to Johnson.
I'll also want to replace that soon, I guess. So one major change that I'm sure you guys realize is that you can see my face now, which I'm sure you guys are all excited about that.
Are you sure about that?
This season, Joel Embiid is averaging a career high in points at 30.2 points per game. He's averaging 11.6 rebounds per game, 3.3 assists. He's shooting 52.1% from the field, 41.6% from three, 85.6% from the free throw line, and he has a net rating of 11.1 points per 100 possessions. So as you can see, based off his offensive and defensive stats, he's been completely dominant on both sides of the ball this year. Embiid ranks second in scoring, second in PER, fifth in rebounds, sixth in net rating, first in free throw attempts and free throw makes, first in post-up points, and he ranks first in total player impact estimate. Based off all those numbers, you can see that Embiid has completely taken his game to a whole new level this season. He has his team playing incredible as they are first in the Eastern Conference, a big jump from sixth last season. Embiid might be the best post-up player in the NBA. At 7 feet, his footwork is incredible. His size and ability to make plays and move around like a guard on offense is something that you typically don't see in a player that's 7 feet tall. His post moves are probably the best in the game, and his shot, his mid-range shot and his three-point shot has significantly increased. He's shooting 52.8% from 10 feet from the basket out to the three-point line, and he's shooting nearly 60% on shots 16 feet out to the three-point line. Add that to his much improved three-point shot at almost 42%, and you have a complete offensive genius that can score anywhere on the floor and just cannot be stopped by anyone one-on-one. There's simply no one in the NBA that can stop him one-on-one. You see, last game against the Jazz, Joel Embiid scored 40 points on Rudy Gobert, who's a two-time Defensive Player of the Year and a Defensive Player of the Year candidate this year. Add his offense to his defensive impact, which you can see in his net rating, that the team plays significantly better when he's on the floor, and his player impact estimate total, you can see that Embiid's a complete two-way monster this season. There's even a span of games from January 20th to February 21st where Embiid had 14 straight games of scoring 25 points or more, and he's the first Sixer to have a streak that long since Allen Iverson did it. Embiid does this all while dealing with double teams on a nightly basis. Teams are forced to game plan around Embiid, but they still can't stop him because he's just that dominant of a basketball player. And he's doing this in an age dominated by guards and three-point shooting as a 7-foot big man. Something that propels Embiid's case is the success of the team itself. The Sixers ranked first in the Eastern Conference at the halfway point in the season. Embiid's improved passing out of the double teams has also greatly helped the team, as when teams come and double him, he's gotten much better at reading the defense and kicking it out to the open man, which allows it to swing around the court for typical open three-point shots. His free throw, his ability to draw fouls is also very valuable, as the Sixers ranked first in the NBA in free throws attempted and made per game, in large part due to Embiid, and this helps to negate some of the issues that you see with the Sixers typically this season, such as they rank very low in three-point attempts and makes per game. But Joel's ability to draw fouls helps them to get to the line a lot every single game and get some of those points back that they typically don't see from the three-point line. Embiid's been playing absolutely amazing this season, but there are a bunch of other players that are playing really well too and could be also argued to be the MVP, such as LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, and James Harden. In comparison to these players, Embiid ranks first in scoring, first in rebounds, first in free throws attempted and made per game, second in PR, second in field goal percentage, first in net rating, and first in total player impact estimate.
Wow!
Embiid tops Harden in every one of these statistical categories, and the only thing that Harden has over Embiid is assists. Same thing with LeBron. Embiid tops LeBron in every single statistical category outside of assists. Jokic is where it gets a little bit interesting because Jokic has Embiid in field goal percentage, and he has him in PER. However, what sets Embiid apart from Jokic and LeBron and Harden is his defense. His defense is clearly better than any of those three players mentioned before, and his defensive impact is greater than any one of those players mentioned previously. The stats clearly support Embiid being the better defensive player than Jokic, LeBron, and Harden, and so does the eye test. So if you watch Embiid play, you can see the defensive impact that he has on the floor. In my opinion, the most telling stat is player impact estimate, and Joel Embiid ranks first in total player impact estimate, not just among all these candidates, but among every single player in the entire NBA. Player impact estimate basically measures your impact on the floor. So it takes into account your offensive stats, your defensive stats, like just everything that a basketball player can do, everything they do on the floor, and their impact on winning, and it puts it together into one stat. And Embiid has the highest player impact estimate of anyone in the entire league this season. And that's really impressive to me. That's where the story, that's really what tells the story of MVP, as MVP is most valuable player, and him having the highest player impact estimate and his team being in first place in the East really shows me that he has value. He's the most valuable player in basketball right now, just based off that number, but also all the other stats show it. In 2016-17, Russell Westbrook ranked first in the league in total player impact estimate, and he won MVP that season, and Joel Embiid's doing the same thing this year, so I don't understand why he wouldn't be at the top of the MVP conversation. At the midway point in the season, Embiid clearly has the best offensive and defensive numbers of anybody in the NBA. He has his team first in the Eastern Conference, and based on all the information that I've just shared, I feel that it's clear that Joel Embiid is the MVP frontrunner at this point in the season. I also make mixes on this channel. That's how this channel started. I started making player mixes and hype videos. So I made a Joel Embiid MVP mix, so if you want to check that out, click right up here. And if you want to check out the Ben Simmons mix that I made, it'll be somewhere on the screen as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. God, I suck at that.